For the first part of this problem, we're going to be writing an equation, S of t, that represents the amount of 200 grams of a substance that remains after t years, and we're also told that the half-life of the substance is 15 years. So because of that, we're going to be using the half-life equation, and if you have forgotten it, I just jotted it down on the side here. So let's go ahead and write it out. S of t is going to equal our initial amount, which is 200 grams, multiplied by 1/2 to the power of t over h. So t represents time, and that is the correct variable we're being asked to use. And h represents the half-life, so that our half-life is 15 years. So our denominator there will be 15. All right, so that part's done. For the next part of the question, we're being asked to determine how long it will take for 1/10 of the substance to remain. So we can essentially consider the initial amount to be 1 gram, and then on the left-hand side of the equation, our final amount would be 1/10. So I'm going to write down that 1/10 is equal. Now I'm just going to write nothing for the initial amount because this is just 1 gram. And then we skip to the 1/2 part to the power of t over 15. All right, so now in order to solve this, since t is in our exponent, we are going to take the logarithm of both sides of this equation. So we're going to do log of 1/10 equals log of 1/2 to the power of t over 15. Now, because we're dealing with logarithms now, we can take this exponent t over 15 and move it to the front of this. So now it's going to be equal to t over 15 multiplied by log of 1/2. And then on the left side, we've still got that log of 1 over 10. All right, so our next step to isolating t would be to multiply both sides of the equation by 15. That's going to get rid of that denominator there. And then the last thing we'll need to do is divide this whole thing by log of 1/2 so that that cancel out. All right, so just to simplify that, you can see in the green over here, I've just kind of rewritten the equation. So we've got t isolated, and so to calculate this out very carefully, we're going to type in our calculator 15 multiplied by log of 1/10, all divided by log of 1/2, which gives us about 49.8289, but we are being asked to round this to the nearest year, so that's going to round to 50 years. All right, that's all for this video, and thanks for visiting JD's Preparation.